A very good morning again, also on my part. Nobel laureate Rigoberta Menchú-Tum has just and from civil society. What unites them all are their joint efforts in fighting conflict-related sexual violence. And I would like to introduce our panelists. To my right, Ambassador Mara Marinaki. She's the EU Principal Advisor on Gender Issues and UN Security Council Resolution 1325. I would also like to introduce Ms. Letitia Anderson from the Office of the UN Special Representative for Sexual Violence in Conflict. Mr. Ibrahim Al-Qassem, a distinguished lawyer and human rights activist from Syria. Ms. Brenda Muturi, she's a leader of the Pan-Africa Gender Justice Program representing Oxfam. And Dr. Ali Akram Zainalabdeen, Chief of Turkmen Rescue Foundation, member of Human Rights NGOs Council of the Iraqi Parliament. The objective of this panel is to create a deeper understanding for the challenges of conflict with Dr. Ali Akram Zainalabdeen. He is a doctor, medical doctor by training and human rights activist, and as I mentioned early on, he's the chief of Turkmen Rescue Foundation, member of a leading human rights council NGO. Ali will show us part of a PowerPoint presentation. The entire presentation will then be made available to you either online or in a printed version.
Good morning, and thanks for all of you. Special thanks for the organizer of this conference for this opportunity. I am really not a professional in human rights. I am a doctor and neurologist, but the suffering of our people forced me to add another job on my already loaded job. So I want to talk now about some reasons behind the conflict-related sexual violence. I think to put end for this violence, we need to know the important reasons. The first important one is the fatwa of religious men who are leading Al-Qaeda and Daesh. They are giving such religious opinion for fighters, especially for under the name of sexual fighting, or what's called Jihad Al Nikah, which is an opinion for the fighters to do that. The second one is assaulting and attacking and captivity of certain communities. For example, the minorities in Iraq have been attacked under the name of such fatwa and religious opinion as in accordance with their doctrine or their belief. The second one, they used the sex as an attraction for the fighters and used it as a way to make the battle or the fighter more steady in the battle. The third point is destruction. They aimed in destruction of such community, socially, physically, and psychologically, to end their presence in the area which is very strategic area. Especially if I am talking about Iraq, I mean Mosul. Mosul is very strategic area economically and in security issue and also geographically, because it binds three countries, I mean Turkey, Syria and Iraq, and north of Iraq to the middle and east of Iraq. So it is very strategic, and they want to end the presence of such weakest point, I mean the minorities in such area. The fourth point, which is the lack of protection of such communities. They are neither self-protected or nor have been protected by central government nor KIG. We know that at 2013, European Parliament asked the Iraqi government and the KRG to protect minorities and Turkmen, but what we saw that in 2014, ISIS attacked mainly the minorities, and what happened, all of know it. The fifth point is the isolated nature of such communities. the minorities in Iraq all are isolated socially, educationally and culturally, and this made the suffering over decades of such communities to be in silence. We have been killed over many decades in silence. If I talk about patterns of sexual violence, I think I can divide it into the first one, which is what happened for all women and ladies in general, is abduction, sexual slavery, and selling in the market. The another type, which is what happened especially for Turkmen women and ladies, and especially Shia women, included sexual slavery with a brutal killing, beheading, and burning. For example, especially in Tel Afar and Bashir. In Tel Afar, Iman Yunus, I think it is in the next slide. Next, please. Next one. Next. Yeah. Iman Yunus was the first journalist in Tel Afar. She was a human rights activist. She headed an NGO called Al Malak NGO. She was very active in Mosul. She had been abducted with her husband, had been raped and killed and beheaded, and they even threw their body on the well. She had 4 children, 2 of them still abducted and kidnapped by ISIS, and 2 of them kept by their uncle in Kirkuk in IDP camps. Another example, what happened to, next please. No, it's the same, sorry. The previous one. The previous slide. Yeah. Another example of this type of dealing or pattern, what happened in Bashir. Bashir is a village to 20 kilometers to the south of Kirkuk province in the north of Iraq. ISIS attacked this city, forced the displacement of about 2,000 families. They kidnapped about 9 women and ladies. The smallest one was 12 years old, I think her name, Zainalabdeen. She had been raped for many times. They killed her and burned her bodies with all of 9 and have been suspended on the lamppost and water tank to attract the other families, because the displaced families of Bashir were resident about 5 kilometers away from Bashir. So they used this method to attract guys or Turkmen fighters, and they killed by sniper shot about 15 people of the family of this girl. I want to talk also the main facts about, I am sorry, I am talking about Turkmen because I am specialized in this field, and because we believe it is not from ethnic point of view, but we believe that if we cannot try to help our families and relatives and our city, we cannot help the others. For that reason, I am talking about even the forgotten Turkmen in Iraq. We have, according to our references and our reports, which I published it before 1 month, about 1,500 civilian kidnaps, men and women, 600 of them women and ladies, 120 children have been used for recruitment by ISIL. Out of 600 women and ladies, just 11 escaped from Daesh. 5 of them have been not rejected by their family, and they are living with their families as IDP in the south of Iraq. But unfortunately, we cannot touch them more and cannot get more information, because the families feel stigma and social, and they regard it as shame. The other 3 at July 2015 reached to Zako at north of Iraq, and one of them committed suicide, as we get the information from local activists, and we didn't get any more information because they have been kept by in secret condition by the KRG government. The another 3 now living with their families as IDP in Kirkuk. Sorry, one of the slide, the next one. Next, please. This is another example of, she is Suhaila, 53 years old. She was living in Brauchili. Brauchili is near to Amirli village, which is well known. Have been besieged by ISIL for 43 days. She escaped ISIS. She is now taking care of 6 orphan children. Daesh killed about 4 cousins, 3 brothers, and 8-year-old father. She is now living as alone with 6 orphan children in Kirkuk in camp. The next, please. Yeah, the 3 girls or women living in Kirkuk. One of them, Nadia. Nadia, also a 56 years old woman. She lost her husband and her only daughter. She was nurse and used by Daesh to treat the fighters at first, then raped and killed, and she is living alone in Kirkuk as IDP now. Another last one, Songul Ismail. Songul is the sister of 3 women have been killed in Kirkuk, in Bashir, sorry, and Bernard. So this is the facts about Turkmen women and ladies. I think what we want to do and what we need to solve this problem, it's important to get a rapid support for the survivors. I mean support and protection from the interpreter and from the criminal groups and even from the community itself, because the community now and families, they are dealing with them because of shame and social stigma. They are also living in like a dead person. So we need support and protection even from same families. It's important to document. We are working on our own facility and on ourselves, non-professional. We are doing non-professional reports. So we need a special training and a special support for documentation, for getting more reports and getting more information about what happened for those girls and women. We need political support. I mean special legislative and law that protects minorities, that protects women and ladies. And it's important to be applicable and to apply it, not just written things kept in the papers. Also, we need the empowerment of women. We need to implement the Security Council Resolution 1325. We need to protect women and empower her in prisons, and local authority, in parliament more, and ministerial council more, and especially from minorities, I mean. And it's important also to support local NGO which belong to minorities or communities suffered or have been attacked and suffered from ISIS, by humanitarian support, by training, by special programs, and by funds, because we know that we have around 3 million IDP now in Iraq, in north of Iraq and south of Iraq. I think most of the NGOs working are non-minority NGO. We need to support such NGOs, and if it is not present, we need to create such NGO to be from inside such community and to be supported and to prevent further attacks in the future. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ali, for pointing out the important responsibility that religious communities do have, and for sharing these very touching stories of women in Iraq, and particularly in this case Turkmen women. May I have a quick look at our organizers? Do we still have time for 2-3 questions from the audience? Or? Yeah. May we now open up